Well, it's Timus here. Now, since this month I'm doing my reviews for past horror movies because it is, of course, October. And top it off, since we're pretty much venturing into 40 years of Freddy Krueger, I decided to go ahead and pretty much do the Nightmare on Elm Street territories and do my reviews for the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. Starting off, because who knows if we're ever going to get another Freddy Krueger project, but this is, of course, starting off with the one that started off, and that is 1984's iconic horror film, A Nightmare on Elm Street. I almost said Nightmare Before Christmas. Two totally different nightmares. Now, if you guys don't know much about the story here, it's of course directed by horror icon Wes Craven, who of course has before he ventured into Scream. Obviously, he's done other great horror stuff like Hills Have Eyes. Um, he's done some other stuff like us, the Swamp, like the original Swamp Thing, and all. He, the Last House on the Left. I mean, talk about he was obviously a horror icon, and believe it or not, he actually even based Freddy Krueger off of someone who once bullied him in high school. So that's something. If you're bullied in high school, people just know you can actually make a horror film about where the bully could possibly be a killer. So who haunts people in their dreams. Now, this movie, of course, stars iconic actor Robert Englund, who is love Robert Englund. I mean, he is literally an icon with Freddy. With Freddy. Now, if you guys don't know much about the story for Nightmare on Elm Street, is the plot concerns a group of teenagers who are targeted by Freddy Krueger, an undead child hunter who can murder people through their dreams, a retribution against their parents who burn them alive. And Robert Englund just plays his part very well. Like there are obviously lots of creepy moments throughout here. Performances by the cast is pretty good. This of course does feature like major uppercomers. Of course you've got Heather Langenkamp who plays the fine girl Nancy Thompson. John Saxon plays her dad, Lieutenant Don Thompson. Of course, you had Johnny Depp in this. One of his, I believe it was actually his acting debut, if I'm not mistaken. Could be wrong there. You also had Joseph Webb, who actually appeared in played the Sheriff Burke in the first Scream movie. Lynn Shay plays like a teacher in this. It's a lot of fun, like a lot of fun. It's really iconic. Film about like a killer who can actually kill you in your dreams. It's very scary. Like this movie literally made people not want to sleep for years. This pretty much made like sleep with Nightmare on Elm Street is what the water did for Jaws. You know how like in Jaws people were afraid to go back to the water. But Nightmare on Elm Street made people not want to sleep. So yeah. And of course Robert Englund, he's been playing this role like for years. From the original all the way up to Freddy versus Jason. It was also pretty cool to see him come back as a Freddy for like a little cameo on the Goldbergs, which I thought was a really cool there too. Technically, that was the last time we saw Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger. Believe it or not, was actually not in Friday. Was not in an Elm Street film. Was on an episode of the Goldbergs. Like just YouTube Robert Englund Freddy Krueger Goldbergs. You'll be able to find that. But that aside, yeah, of course, some really crazy stuff. Like one of the most creepiest moments is pretty much with Frey sticking his tongue in the phone when she's on it. I'm like, that was pretty creepy. Of course, the bed scene with Johnny Depp is intriguing. I mean, a lot of stuff about this movie is great. Of course, this came out around a time where the slasher movie genre was trying to find its face in the 80s. Coming off of stuff like Friday the 13th, obviously Halloween. And this is a really intriguing one. Some really cool kills. I mean, and of course, it was the start of a franchise. Whether we get one in the future, that's we'll see. But yeah, let me lead you guys. Have you ever seen the original Nightmare on Elm Street? If so, what's up? Were you a fan? Were you not a fan of it? Favorite scenes, favorite moments, and what would you rate the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise? Drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. This is Samuel.